Ready? We'll jump right in. Yesterday we left off and Joseph and Jesus was outside, and Joseph was blessing Jesus. And we'll back up just a little bit. Joseph used his staff to struggle to his feet and put a hand on his son. His voice was weak and quivery. "May the Lord bless you and keep you," he said. "May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. May he..." And with that, Joseph pitched forward into Jesus' arms. His walking stick clattering to the ground, Jesus drew his father to himself and bent to scoop him up as the old man's knees gave way. He cradled him like an infant and moved to the door, quietly calling out for his mother. She rushed to the door and led him to the bedroom where he laid his father on the bed, lowered his ear to the man's nose, then pressed his palm against the silent chest. It was all a show for Mary, for Jesus knew, and he merely looked at her. His mother's voice was thick. "I set aside fine linen and spices," she said, turning toward the door. "Let me go with you," Jesus said. I'm all right," she said. "I'll be right back." And Jesus knelt at Joseph's bed, taking the carpenter's hand in his own. He lowered his head to the dead man's chest. "Abba, Abba," he said. Sobs were invading his throat. "Abba." Joseph passed with Jesus at his side. The last thing Joseph did was to bless Jesus. You know, I know some of you know, but maybe some of you don't know the word Abba. And the word Abba, in Arabic, it's for father. That's what they call father. You might know when Jesus was on the cross, he cried out, "Abba, Father," to his Father in heaven. So I thought that was a really good book, and I thought it was so cool for this time. It started out, on March 25th, which would have been the 9-month time frame from when Jesus would have been born if we were on this calendar. As we know, the Jewish calendar is different, and so Jesus was not actually born on December 25th, but he came as a human, and Mary carried him for 9 months. And that was what was kind of neat, was to get to read how Joseph interacted with Jesus, raising God's son. And then Jesus interacting with Joseph in his last days and as he passed. And I think it's pretty neat how the author got into that. I mean, most of that, it's a novel, it's a book, so a lot of it's not in the Bible. but we can picture, as we know, how it is when we go through losses of family members and that and the friends, what it goes through. And Jesus went through the same thing. When I started it, like I said, God was the one that laid upon me to start it. He set the whole thing out. I think it was the second or the third day after I'd started reading it, the way God wanted it read, as far as all the way through. And I had to go, I can't remember what I had to go pick up, but I had to go to the store. And it was pretty interesting because as we finished that book up, God's laid another book out. And that's the thing about when God starts setting things up. You know, honestly, my mind can't keep things straight enough to do it. But we're coming into the Passover season, the crucifixion time of crucifixion and the resurrection. And when I went in the store, there was books right by the door. And I stopped and I looked, and strangely enough, there was one book. This is the book right here. And as we've learned from Joseph and Jesus's relationship, as Joseph passed, and Jesus has foretold him, a little of what is to come and what he's going to be going through. This book is kind of a continuation, so I am going to start it. I don't know for sure if it'll be tomorrow or maybe a couple days later, but this one is One Miracle Long Ago Opened the Door for Miracles in Your Life Today. This book is told through the eyes of Claudius, a Roman soldier. This poignant story shows the power of God's love and Christ's ultimate sacrifice. Beautiful illustrations bring to life the darkest and best hours the world has ever known. Who is this Jesus? Is a tale of new beginnings, brilliantly told as only Max Lucado can do. And if y'all have ever read Max Lucado's works, he's just an amazing author as well. And so we'll start on this as we go into the next stage of Jesus's walk here on earth. So I really hope you all have enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed going back through that one. This will be my first time through this. I have not read this. I am familiar with a lot of Max Lucado's works. I was not familiar with this one. But I do believe God put it out there for a reason, and I do believe it's to go. I feel like he's led it to go through with the reading. For those that want to hear it, I know there's a lot that don't, and that's okay. It's only for those that want to hear. Last night, excuse me, I went to see the movie that I've got the things on the front of, The Case for Heaven, by Lee Strobel put it out, and myself, my sister-in-law, my great niece, and a couple friends, we got to go last night. It was the first showing. It's showing all across the nation at 7 o'clock in the evenings. So, I really, believer or not believer, it's an excellent movie to see, just to hear it's through many different people and many different beliefs and styles that tell, of their experiences with death, their thoughts on hell. One was I found really interesting that I can remember is there's one in there that is a professor from northern Kentucky, and he had a death experience of the extreme kind, where he actually was, upon death, was being taken through the dark, where the weeping and the gnashing of teeth, so to speak. He describes it, and he cries out to Jesus, who comes and restores his life. And this professor, still today, when he tells his story, he is emotionally moved, because it changed him from someone who was a complete unbeliever, and after this event, he becomes, he gives up his tenure as a professor. I forget what in northern Kentucky, which is really close here where I'm at, and goes into the ministry. So, like I said, there's a lot of different people, a lot of different stories, a lot of different artists, songwriters. If you can go, it's interesting. If not, keep an eye out for it when it comes out. There is the movie out, The Case for Christ, just as there was the book. That might be something interesting you might want to pick up and watch. Like I say, this is the season, and God's always calling us. He desires that all would come unto him, but he won't. He's a gentleman. We have to invite him. He's always calling us. He loves us so much, he's desiring us to come to him. But we have to come to him. We have to ask. We have to invite him. And that's with everything. Even when once we're born again and become his child in the kingdom, as we walk, we still have to ask. That's why the importance of prayer. But ask it according to his will. He's not a genie. It's not like, I think I'll become saved and ask God into my life, because then I can ask him and he'll give me, whatever, a new car, a new house, the cabin on the lake. That ain't how it works. But matter of fact, Satan's going to give you a run for your money. Yeah, he is. The closer you get to God, the harder he's going to try to hit you. But stand strong, stay firm, and God's message is always relax in his peace. That's what he gives us. He is the one that fights the battles for us, but he gives us in his word the tools that we need if we'll just follow his instructions. I've rattled on way longer than I meant to, but like I said, we'll get started on this. Might not be for a couple of days, and again, it might be tomorrow. I just got to see how things work out, and that. But yeah, y'all have a great day. Okay, guys, I love yous. Enjoy the day. I think we're getting rain all week, but I think it's supposed to be fairly decent. So take care. I'll see you day 2 whenever. It won't be too long, because I don't want to leave too long of a break. If y'all's like me, my mind, it'll be gone. I'll forget what I read the next day. So anyway, take care.